Good morning and welcome to a training video prepared by the Maryland Department of Agriculture, specifically designed to assist with the Maryland Agricultural Water Quality Cost Share Program for claims submitted. Keep in mind that there are several cost share programs available to the public. This one is specifically designed for claims for payments for the MACS Water Quality Cost Share Program. Today we're going to be looking at the top 5 issues that make it difficult for claims for payments to be reviewed and processed and ultimately experience delays in getting paid. There are many details that are very important in putting a claim together in order for it to be quickly reviewed and processed. Many details. The top 5 issues are the first box number 1 of the claim. The importance of submitting a W-9 with the claim, with every claim. The importance and accuracy of supporting documents, such as the NOR. And ultimately, having the property ID that receives cost share, nutrient management certified and compliant. So we're going to look at putting all of these issues together and how to avoid delay in the process of submitting a claim. So box number 1 of the first page of the claim for payment. This can delay a claim significantly. And all it has in box number 1 is the applicant's name and address. But when this information is misspelled, if it's not proofread, if it contains handwritten corrections, this is going to result in a claim that is delayed and rendered incomplete as submitted. The information in box number 1 of the claim for payment must match the name and address used on the original agreement. It must be the same. If it's spelled out as a full name, it should be the full name on claim box number 1. Box number 1 of a claim for payment is reviewed first of all by the specialist in the MACS group, by the administrator, by the program manager for conservation grants, and also by fiscal services for accuracy of the recipient's payment profile. And a payment profile is the information in box number 1. That's their name and address and zip code. Corrections to information presented in box number 1 must be completed and must be revised by the person who prepared the claim. And so the staff responsible for preparing the claim will get a memo or contact saying that this information needs to be revised and resubmitted. The result, the entire claim is rendered INCC, which is the code for an incomplete claim for payment. And it will remain incomplete until this information is corrected. So this brings us to issue number 4, not submitting a W-9. First of all, let's point out the fact that the program manager of conservation grants has made it his policy to require a W-9 with every claim for payment that is submitted. So the claim for payment is not going to be approved without a W-9. It's very important to submit the W-9. So we ask, what is the information contained on the W-9 that's so important? An updated W-9 is used by the Program Manager for Conservation Grants and also used as an official document by Fiscal Services to authenticate the information contained in box number 1, which is the name and address for the recipient of the payment. So the W-9 will provide a basis for authenticating a recipient's payment profile, but also if the recipient or the applicant hasn't submitted application for cost share programs in the past 2 years, the W-9 will be used by Fiscal Services to reactivate the person's payment profile. Very important. It's also important, the information contained on the W-9 must also match exactly what you want to put on box number 1. If the names are different, if you miss part of the name in the W-9 and or box number 1, Fiscal Services and the MACS office are going to require you to resubmit an updated W-9 with revisions that match exactly box number 1. And again, the result of not submitting a correct W-9 and not submitting a W-9 at all is that the claim for payment will be rendered INCC, which means an incomplete claim, until the required information is submitted correctly. This is issue number 4. It causes significant delays, which could be very easily avoided. Issue number 3, the accuracy of the NOR. We ask, what is an NOR? The NOR is a notice to title examiners, which is the legal document that is required for every payment which is $10,000 or more beginning May 1st, 2025. Yes, this training video contains brand new updated information and important changes regarding the NOR. New rules apply to the NOR May 1st, 2025. Before May 1st, 2025, the dollar amount for a claim for payment was $5,000. So the Maryland Department of Agriculture has raised this policy limit to $10,000 in order to help with the preparation and recording of the legal document required for the maintenance period. So on May 1st, it will be at a $10,000 limit. Now, keep in mind that every claim and every application that was approved before May 1st, the previous standard will apply. It will be $5,000. Now, another new rule for the NOR is this, very important. Starting May 1st, with every application for cost share, the NOR is going to be required to be reviewed and pretty much approved before the application agreement is sent to the Board of Public Works for approval. Big change. An inaccurate NOR can delay a payment for weeks, months, and even longer. The general problems that everyone throughout the state encounter with preparing and accurate and correct notice to title examiners begins with page 1 of the NOR, paragraph 1, which is the grantor's names, which is listed in paragraph 1. The names listed on this first page of the NOR must be exactly as they're shown on the deed that's referenced. If the names are spelled out completely, the names are spelled out completely on the NOR. They must be exactly the same. Also, these same descriptions, grantor's names descriptions, go underneath of the actual signatures on page 2 of the NOR. The signature descriptions appearing below each name must be exactly as it was appeared in the deed reference paragraph 1. The next issue, the BMPs listed on the NOR must meet exactly and include every BMP that was submitted on the claim for payment. Again, every BMP, every improvement with the NRCS code listed on the claim for payment must appear on page 1 of the NOR. A lot of people run into problems when they write down the deed date. The deed date is simply the date that the deed was prepared, and that date is what is described in paragraph 1 of the verbiage of the deed. It's not the date that's posted and stamped at the upper right-hand corner or the bottom where the clerk of the circuit court actually enters the deed in a recording book. That's not the deed date. The deed date is the descriptive date in paragraph 1 for the agreement made. Now, let's say you've prepared a notary, you've prepared an NOR completely, and you have it notarized. Keep in mind that in the notary block, the notary public must put the description of who was available for signatures. If the notary doesn't list in the jurat, that's the list of people who appeared before him or her for signatures. If the notary public does not list the people who signed it there and appeared for witness, the NOR is ineligible and it has to be redone. Very important. And again, beginning May 1st, 2025, every NOR must be approved with the application before that application goes to the Board of Public Works for approval. Huge change. Issue number 2, very importantly, it's nutrient management compliance. What this simply means is that no Maryland cost share funds will be paid to any recipient for any improvement to any property that is not managed by the nutrient management program. Quite simply, this also means that every property account ID must appear in the nutrient management database and on the nutrient management base map. This is how the MACS office determines if that property account ID is certified and in compliance, and if the producer has done the job that they promised at the time of application. Especially for every new producer with new properties being adopted for agricultural purposes. According to the Nutrient Management Department, there will be no excuses There will be no leniency for anyone for prepayment or to go ahead and receive a payment of cost shares until this is completed. Now, the process for getting this done, following through, is that if a claim for payment is submitted to the MACS office and it is checked for nutrient management compliance for this property receiving the cost share improvements, if that is lacking, there will be a memo sent to the district office, to those who prepared and submitted the claim, and a copy of that memo will be going to the nutrient management specialist who is in service to that district and that region, so that everybody gets a memo saying they need to coordinate an effort to get information to the nutrient management specialist so that he or she can initiate a review and get it entered into the nutrient management database and also the base map. Only the nutrient management specialist can follow through with this. Emails, memos, phone calls, none of this works. There's only one way to get nutrient management compliance for a property account ID, and that's through the coordination of the nutrient management specialist, the applicant, and through the district that prepared the claim. Once this is done, then the claim can continue to be reviewed. It is considered incomplete until this is followed through. And again, the property account ID must appear in the nutrient management database, and it must be entered onto the nutrient management base map. And again, I'd like to stress NMP non-compliance is non-negotiable in terms of payment eligibility. Until the property account ID is compliant, the claim for payment is considered not received and incomplete. This is very high on the issues index because it can take several weeks for this to get accomplished if the regional specialist is busy, and just based on past experiences with claims where this is the situation, it's just not a speedy thing for people to follow through on. And that's sad because the producer is reminded of this the day that he or she puts in an application for cost share funds. On that day, they are told that they need to follow through with getting the property account ID under the nutrient management certified plan that accompanies that application. So if we would put all things together, during this video, we've learned that there are several details, many details, that are involved in preparing and submitting a correct claim for payment and all of its supporting documents. Now, there are additional instructions which were not presented in this video, but there are additional instructions for a box-by-box review and instructions on how to complete a claim for payment, all the way down through 30-some boxes. There's also instructions for a W-9, how to fill out a W-9 properly, what to avoid, what to include, exactly how to list it. And there's also instructions specifically for each page and each paragraph and each component of the NOR, how to list the grantors and all the information that goes on that. If you would like these instructions, you can contact the MACS office. Anyone in the MACS office can provide these instructions that can be supplied to you with an email for additional resource in preparing your claim for payment. All of these items, a correct W-9, an accurate NOR, and supporting documents, which we have yet to mention, which include there is a justification of cost required by the district manager on letterhead for all overruns which exceed the original approved amount by 10%. There's also a certification of imminent startup that is required on some claims. If you get a new structure, you've promised to put animal units in that structure on a certain date. The claim for payment will not be honored until that certified imminent startup includes the animals which you have promised, which the producer has promised to do. Keep in mind, in submitting a claim for payment and submitting an NOR, the MACS office will accept nothing but the original documents and original signatures. And again, that's originals for the claim for payment itself, originals for the NOR itself, and an updated W-9 does not have to be an original. It can be a copy. Keep in mind that one should never email a W-9 or sensitive information which includes an applicant's social security number. Do everything that you can to protect the applicant's privacy and their personal information. And also to include justification of costs. If a person is deceased, you need to submit a death certificate or an obituary. And again, these are all part of the additional instructions that is available at the MACS office in written form. Very helpful. So we want to thank you for listening to the video. Hopefully this has been of some help. If nothing else, take a special note of the top 5 issues. What this means is all over the state, in every region, in every district, these are the top 5 things that are prepared incorrectly. These are the top 5 things that cause a claim to be rendered incomplete. These are the top 5 things that delay the recipient's payment. The MACS office does not incur this delay. The MACS office doesn't cause this delay. The delay is in the inaccuracy. We need to proofread things. Very important to look at the details. So to that end, I wish you good luck. You can call the MACS office if you have questions anytime that you're preparing a claim for payment and you have questions. Keep in mind that the MACS office will not render a decision on hypothetical claims, hypothetical claim issues, hypothetical NOR issues until we see the actual claim, until we see the documents. The MACS office has learned that it's best at that time only to render decisions for individual issues. So feel free to contact us and feel free to give us a preview of some of the things. To that end, again, good luck in preparing claims for the Maryland Agricultural Water Quality Cost Share Program. Thank you.